All right, guys, we're going to talk about three different things here. We're going to talk about the structure of a four-year education first. After that, I'm going to talk about the transfer process for film students. Let's get a marker. Markers make everything better. And then we're going to talk about the costs. Overall, the point of this information is to compare the experience of going to a four-year university first, like San Diego State, to the community college, starting at the community college and then transferring across. I know a lot of people think community college, like how it's not prestigious or like it's for flunkies or something, but I'm going to show you what it really is, and I'll show you the real advantage. Let's start with the structure. Four-year education, you're going to be working in units, one course. Let's look at a course real quick. Here's a typical name for a course. This is one of our courses. It's called RTVF 160. Here's the name. Is worth 3 units. This is a very standard number of units per course. That basically means you're working for 3 hours per week, roughly speaking. So for a four-year education, you have to get to roughly 120 units. This is roughly 40 classes altogether. So 3 divided into 120 gives you 40. And it's broken up over 4 years. So this would be year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. In the first 2 years, everybody does the same thing for the most part. The thing that everybody's doing the most of is they're doing their general education courses. This is 39 units total. That's roughly 13. There's 13 classes. It's not roughly 13. It is 13 classes. General education is a combination of many different areas. It's like one math class, a science class, psychology, a writing class, basic mathematics. And everybody does this no matter which system they're in. You do this at both systems no matter what, and the number of units is the same. There's no difference there, okay? Also in the first 2 years, you have to do something called lower division requirements. So let's pretend we're not talking about film student. Let's pretend we're talking about like psychology. A psychology student could declare their major whenever they want down here when they start. They would do the same general education. They don't do the same classes, but you work from the same list. Everybody's working from the same options. You can choose which ones you want to take from each area. Then the lower division requirement is major specific. So if I'm a psychology major, I'm going to have to take typically 15 units. That's 5 classes that are psychology specific that prepare me to go into the junior year. And those are called lower division requirements. For film students, this is the same thing. Film students have to take 5 different classes before they're allowed to enter. It's the same over here. Now those courses, all the course options, all the courses that are available at San Diego State, we have our own version at City College. So the same general eds, you can also do the same lower division requirements. So that's the basic structure. Now, the important detail is once you get into your junior and senior year, it's important to know you do not repeat the general eds. So once you finish that math class, a lot of people are uncomfortable with math. Once you finish the science courses, those don't ever happen again up here. In this area, you're just working in your major. If it's a film student, you'd be only studying film. There might be some writing, some critical studies, but in general, it's going to be film courses up there. That's the basic structure. So four-year universities are going to go to 120 units. The community college system like City College, we only go up to 60. And in terms of the names of the courses that are taught in the first 2 years are either going to be numbered 100 or 200 level courses. And that's what this number is referring to. It's a 160, in other words, it's a 100 level course. And that suggests that you'd be taking it somewhere in here. When you get up here, your courses will be number 300. So you might have a course that's like 351, film something, 372, film something, and 400. Community colleges, City College, we only teach 100 and 200s. We don't teach 300 and 400 level classes. Okay, so that's the basic structure and the difference between the two. Now let's talk about transfer process for film students. So this is where the community college starts to get way more interesting. For most majors, let's again do psychology, you can declare your major here and you just proceed straight through. There's no obstruction. But Film programs in San Diego State is one of them. Often are what's called impacted. An impacted program means that that program has so many applicants that they can't take everybody. So what they do is at this point, you have to apply, and you have to do a portfolio. Pardon me, I'm writing and shooting at the same time. So in other words, when you're a junior, a freshman and a sophomore, and at the end of your sophomore year, you have to create a portfolio. You submit to the film program. It's competitive, and if you don't get in, if you don't pass this step, you cannot enter the film program. Now, what's in the portfolio? At San Diego State, the portfolio requires 2 film samples, like videos, samples from your films, a treatment, which is a type of screenplay, and then a second piece of writing called a personal statement. So it's video plus 2 pieces of writing. Now, here's the hitch. If you're a film student and you start here at San Diego State, the film production classes, those are the classes where you make films. They don't start till you get here in your 3rd year. You can't take film production at San Diego State down here. So if the portfolio is requiring film samples to get into the film program, how do you know how to make film samples if you can't take the classes here? And this is where the community college and city college become really, well, basically our students get an advantage. In our programs, we teach film here. We teach film production starting day 1. You can do film editing, you can do fiction film, documentary film, producing, lighting, all from day 1. So what happens is, our students come in, they're doing the same general education, they're working on their lower division, but they also have the option of doing production classes where they learn how to make stuff. So that when they do this transfer, now they have to also apply to get into this program. They're doing the same portfolio as the San Diego State students would do. There's no advantage. The SDSU students don't get an advantage at this point right here. So these students in our program, because they're doing production, end up very often doing better with the portfolio and then entering SDSU's program. That's crazy, right? But that's what actually happens. So the transfer is the hitch for film students. You have to be constantly planning for this step and scheduling, anticipating everything you do so your materials are ready. And that's what we do. That's what we in my program, that's what we're specializing in, to sort of make sure that people get across this bridge and into the program. Okay, let's talk about the other really significant advantage for the community colleges. Let's talk about cost. Right now at San Diego State, if you don't have a scholarship, it's approximately $8,000 per year. Okay, so times 4, you're looking at $32,000 for all 4 years. Compared to the rest of the country, that's actually a great deal. Many other states, it's far more expensive. But if you start at City College, where am I at, and you apply to the Promise program, so if you're a graduating high school student, this is crazy. If you're a graduating high school student, and the semester after you graduate, you apply to City College, and you have a full load. That means you have at least 12 units. The cost is $0. In the second year, the cost is $0. What does that mean? It means that you can get the same degree you can get here for half the cost, right? So you can do your first 2 years for free. And if you look at the 2 first years, everybody's doing the same thing. General ed, lower division. There's no difference. There is one advantage. Actually, over here, there is an advantage. We have smaller classrooms. We have fewer students in the classes. If you go to San Diego State in the general education, some of those classrooms have 200 people, 150 students, right? So same here, that one's free. That one's costing $8,000 per year. And this one, you can actually take film courses. They make your portfolio way stronger. They give you an advantage to transfer, and you're only really paying for those last 2. That's a big deal. Now let's talk about last thing. We're gonna calculate what these numbers mean for later in life. So let's look at that real quick. So I'm gonna look at a student loan calculator. If you search student loan calculator, and we're gonna start with San Diego State. So I put in 32,000. The loan term is 10 years. That means that for 10 years after you finish college, you have to pay every month to pay off your loan. We're gonna pay at 6%. And what that would mean for 10 years, every month, you have to pay $355. That's not a giant number, but that's enough to kind of definitely affect your decisions. That's a big enough bill, probably your second biggest bill. You have rent, then you have this for 10 years. If you go to City College, you get those first 2 years for free. That monthly bill, everything else is the same, 10 years, is $177. This is like, it's like your phone bill plus your cable bill, right? It's not devastating. It's not gonna force you to do things you don't wanna do. So there's a massive advantage in the big picture to taking advantage of essentially a free program. It's free, people, free. Okay, a couple quick things. How do you find this? If you want to find out how to get in and take advantage of this, search San Diego City College Promise Program, and you will find a big fat page that explains what you have to do to enroll. But the bottom line is that during your senior year, I can't talk without drawing. Here's your senior year of high school. Here's the midpoint. Near the end of your senior year, you're going to want to initiate the process. Right around here, you want to apply to City College, and you'll start to do what is essentially like the application process. Right around here, here's summer, and the whole process will wrap up toward the end of the spring semester. So don't wait until the very end of your senior year to check this out. Like in the middle of your second semester, get online, communicate, call. You can walk in or call our admissions office and start working on setting yourself up for 2 free years of higher education that will save you significant money. Okay, that's it.